Hi, everyone. I am Margot McCarthy. I'm with SVN Lotus in Southwest Florida. I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on LinkedIn and how to market within that platform. I have put together a presentation for you, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Bear with me just one moment. Okay. So we will be discussing what your goals are for your profile, your intro, your featured section, your connections, and how to interact with those connections. So starting with your profile and what your goals are. So what are your goals for your LinkedIn profile? In many cases, LinkedIn is just another social media outlet to keep up with. Don't let that be your case. LinkedIn has one of the most concentrated business-focused individuals than any other platform. So yes, this is absolutely correct. Everybody in the world, well, not in the world, but anybody who is wanting to build their business is definitely on LinkedIn. So you definitely need to take action with this platform. Okay, so while we're going through this presentation, I want you to think of 2 goals that you want to achieve with your LinkedIn platform. Okay. All right. So number 2, your profile intro. I'm going to go back and forth between the slides so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Number 1, your headshot. So I'm going to pull up my LinkedIn profile. Okay. So it's clean, it's bright, and it's very recent. So I took this last month. Your profile should be very recent. The quality of the photo should be very clear. You only have a few seconds to grab somebody's attention with your profile. So they are going to make their first impression off of that. All right. Your cover photo. You want it to be relevant to what you do. So the typical, I think, cover photo is just like a blue LinkedIn background. Make sure that you have something of relevance to your industry, whether you're, of course, we're all in commercial real estate here, so I would assume something along the lines of land or building, or maybe even just something clean and it has some text or a call to action to it. Okay. This next bullet point, audio recording. This is a fairly new feature. As you can see over here, underneath or next to my name, there's a little speaker. You can only record it on your phone, so make sure that you do have the LinkedIn app on your phone. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Hi, this is Margot McCarthy. I help business owners and investors find and sell properties with the latest marketing tools and technologies. Check out my commercial real estate videos in the links below. Cool. So what that did is it gave an overview of what I do, how to pronounce my name. That's super important because obviously it's not the easiest name when you look at it. So Margot, it's spelled different. What you do and a call to action. So I told them to further go into my profile and check out some of the links of the videos that I create. Great. Okay, next, your headline. So your headline should be, it should stand out, right? So let's put some emojis in there that are relevant to what you do. So commercial real estate marketing guru and sales advisor. I'd like to call myself a guru. You can call yourself whatever you want. And then it has a picture of me next to a computer, which is where I'm at all day. And the industry that we're in, which has a building, commercial real estate. For marketing, I have a little chart going on here. Text me. Okay, so this contact information is actually from a free app called Text. I think it's called Text Me, and it's basically a fake number that forwards to my personal cell phone. So I live in Southwest Florida. My phone number is from 10 years ago, and it's 401. So that's not really a relevant area code to where I'm at. So that's why I do have that fake number so that somebody could text me. And it does differentiate all of my calls that are business related to my phone in a separate section. So I think that's important as well. So make it stand out. You have your contact info in there as well, and you want it to be unique and relevant. All right. So next, your current position. You want to make sure that it's current, right? So make sure that this profile right here underneath your experience is exactly what you're doing right now, okay? Your summary, which is in the about, should be something along the lines, mine's not perfect by any means, but who you are, who you help, how you help them, and you can do it in bullet point form and then provide links and emails. Like I said, mine's not totally perfect, obviously, but it does show what I'm proficient in and what I do. So bettering your profile. So I think this is super duper important. The number one thing is you guys are keeping up with your competition. You don't want to have, old materials. You want it to be as relevant as possible. And your competition is probably doing what they can. And if they're not, then you have a leverage or a step above them. And making sure that you're keeping up with the out-of-area experts. There are tons and tons and tons of people who do commercial real estate. If you look at some people in Los Angeles, some in New York, you'll find that there's a bar set there. Don't be falling between the cracks when you could, use their experience and their profile to your benefit. All right, this featured section. So I think this is super cool. If you look over on my screen, you'll see I do have a featured section. And you can add anything in there, whether it's a post, an article, links, or media. So if you're going to do a post, it's probably something that you've already posted. So see how over to I want to say to my left, but to the screen, you'll see things that I've posted or have commented on, something along those lines. So I can add this to my featured section, which means that that's one of the first things that a potential client or an investor or anybody would see first. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there anyway. Okay, so this is the link, and you can add that. Let's see, feature. You can add that feature section and then hit done. So it's now on my featured. Cool. You can also add articles. You can add videos. You can add any links that you'd like. So say that you have an article that maybe you were featured in Forbes magazine. You can add that there, and it then shows up for the people viewing your profile. Cool. Moving on. So the connections. So this is probably the most important part of LinkedIn, right? When you are looking at what your prospects, I guess, criteria are, right? So you're looking at the geography of where they are. You want to make sure that they're in your network. You're not going to, add somebody who's from France just because they're in commercial real estate. Well, what do they do? Are they interested in your market? Probably not. Sometimes they are, but as long as there's a connection there that connects France to Punta Gorda, Florida, then I think you'd be okay adding them. But otherwise, geography is very important. Making sure that the industry is relevant. Making sure that the title or the seniority level of this person is going to benefit you. Of course, you can connect with anybody on LinkedIn, but if you're targeting these people for a certain purpose, you want to make sure that they, are classified correctly, I guess. All right, your company size. You want to make sure that the company, anyway, we'll skip that one. All right, the correct connection at the company. So because of the company size, if it's so large, you want to make sure that you have the correct contact, whether they're the director of marketing or they're, the property management division. You want to make sure you have that correct contact. Okay, and then most of all, your personal connections. So link your contacts from your phone or your email list to your profile, because those are going to be the people who are going to comment on your stuff, on your posts, on your articles, and they're going to be encouraging you and, you know, kind of tooting your horn when you post something cool. So, you know, the engagement is super important there. Number 5, interacting with your connections. So be consistent. This is super important. You can't just comment on one person one time and expect them to remember you for the rest of life. You have to be consistent. You want to make sure that the content that you're commenting is, okay, so let's jump down to the next section over here. You're adding value to whatever it is they're posting. Okay, so you want to show that you read the article. Okay, if they've written about, let's say, for example, the freestanding lease space, right? You want to say something along the lines of why you think it's great or what you think would add value to that location. Even if it doesn't work for you, you know, providing value is the most important thing when you're commenting. You don't want to just say congrats or like happy birthdays. You know, you want to make it more than just one word or one interaction. You want to make sure that it's providing value. You're saying you're going the extra step than what everyone else is doing. Okay. Also researching their habits. So you want to, there's a feed when you go to each person's profile. So just for example, I'm going to go to Gabriella Gross. So see over here, it has this activity section. You can see what they're interested in. So you can see their connections. You can see much more than, I mean, you have the ample opportunity to connect with them about many different topics. So that is super important. You also want to check them out on different platforms. So yes, they might be mostly using LinkedIn, but they might also use Instagram or Facebook. Check out those different profiles as well once you connect with them. And then you can kind of, I don't want to say like, don't stalk them by any means, but you can connect with them on if they're fishing, you know, you love to fish. If they play basketball, if you have the similar, you know, a favorite team, there's so many things that you connect with people on that it's important to do your research. Okay. All right, messaging. So as you guys probably know, Facebook or LinkedIn messaging can be super spammed, so to speak. You want to make sure that when you're contacting somebody via message, that it is almost in like a text-like form. So like you're texting them, right? So you're going to say something along the lines of, hi, so-and-so, I see that you're interested in this. And then you have a, maybe not that exact line, but you want it to be quick and sweet with a call to action and providing purpose. Okay. You don't want to give a long paragraph. They're not going to read it. They are used to seeing that every day. I mean, I feel like all of my messages, my past 10 messages are probably all just unrelated to what I'm interested in. So yeah, make sure that you don't send a long paragraph. Once you get into the conversations, then you can go ahead and send them links and see once you get feedback from them. Okay. Finding a connection beyond the industry. So when you're messaging, like I said, don't just don't just bombard them with a bunch of information. You want to connect with them maybe about a hobby or a mutual friend, find a different connection, and also talk about them, not you. That's super, super important. You want to make sure that it's not, you're not a selfish, you're not trying to be a selfish selfish messenger. You want to talk about them and how much their connection would mean to you without being a teacher's pet, so to speak. Okay. And coming back to our goals. So now that you have all this information on how to use LinkedIn and, you know, providing value to customers, what are your goals? So some examples that I have for you are to attract new leads, right? Grow your audience, whether you are a speaker for commercial real estate, if that's your thing. Whether you want to learn about your industry, this is super important. And I think everybody should agree with this, that use LinkedIn as a learning tool. Also expanding your market. If you are just in one city and you're looking for, an outreach to get a little bit more connected into, outside your community, this is a good way to do it. Also, another example would be to recruit some more advisors. So benefiting from all these tools that LinkedIn has, I think you'd be able to recruit some advisors. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. I hope you've learned a little bit from this little presentation I put together. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Thanks.